Gunther! Hey, look!
Are you ready to leave yet?
Here, check it. That nice old lady gave us some cookies for the road.
I feel like we should be pushing them to evacuate.
It's no use, man. This is their home. They said nothing's gonna make them leave it behind.
Well, in that case, we should at least get as far away from here as we can. The battlefield is basically wherever we go, so that should help keep them safe.
Thanks. So hey, what do you know about this Bright Hopper object? How powerful is it?
It's a second-gen ground combat unit. Rumor has it that not even 3 baby Magnums could beat it. It maintains a constant high speed of 700 to 800 clicks per hour. Not only that, but it's a specialized object, which means all of its main guns are lasers. Essentially, it's a laser-spitting hurricane on the battlefield. It strikes at super high speeds, firing a barrage of multi-sized lasers at its opponent's legs, completely incapacitating them. Then finishes it off with one high-output laser shot from its main guns.
Only those lacking in honor have the option of running away. The legitimate kingdom's nobles are men of great pride. We attack head-on at full speed and reduce our enemy to a pile of ash.
Ready for this fight 一か八かのレベル帯怯えてやり過ごすだけの日々にバイバイバイ降りしきる弾丸かき分け鮮やかに決めろ two step 泣き言なんて胸にしまい込んで try 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 みんな誰も彼もあれもこれも目を背け逃げ出しても見捨てはしない君だけを Let's go one more chance 変えてやろうこのシーン今なぜ何万回でも乗り越えてみせるだけその涙もその痛みも恋とどうで見る月のステージへそうさ何遍だって One more try Let's go one more chance 見してやるよそのスピリット今なぜ何万回でも這いつくばっていけばいい信じてんだろうその痛みはいつか誰か癒すよさに
We've received some new intel. It's been confirmed that chaff missiles have been fired. They were launched from 50 clicks north in Paraná's mountainous region.
What are chaff missiles?
When they explode, they seed the clouds with fine particles, creating a shield against laser sensors. Our satellite surveillance network is currently useless.
But wouldn't that mean the Mass Driver Foundation's main force is somewhere in the vicinity from where they launched? Why risk us tracking their location like that, you know?
They're probably more concerned with hiding their object from our spy satellites. Now they've got time to escape.
Yeah, that could be it. But what was supplying power to those railguns on the mountains earlier? Maybe they're not just trying to disable the satellites. Maybe there's more to it. There could be some other practical reason beyond fleeing. Maybe.
Chaff missiles? So they plan to hide. I would expect no less from such a group of cowards. Though it doesn't matter in the slightest how advanced their object is. With a single burst of glorious light, I shall cut them down.
Charlemagne to all units. The Bright Hopper has taken heavy damage while en route to our location. I repeat, the Bright Hopper has taken heavy damage.
Hold on a sec. That's a mountainous region. Did they blow away the mountains in between to hit it?
It was a high-angle trajectory. They fired the railgun at a sharp upward angle and let the round fall.
Major, it's unconfirmed as to whether Major Copacabana successfully ejected. There's no trace of an emergency distress beacon.
They cannot be serious. That much damage from one shot?
The Bright Hopper's power reactor appears to be destroyed. The estimated velocity of the shell is Mach 25?
What? Impossible! Mach 25 would launch the shell straight into space without ever coming back down!
They must have somehow modified the artillery shells in order to bend the trajectory. That's the only explanation.
The scale is off the charts.
Those chaff missiles they fired, they weren't fleeing. They were using them to conceal the timing of their shelling. We're dead if they get us in their sights. A shell flying at us at Mach 25? There's no dodging that.
How was it even possible for them to zero in so accurately from that distance?
Well, considering that they use chaff missiles, we know they weren't relying on military satellites. So how could they... Hold on. They're using the clouds.
How?
The chaff missiles create clouds that deflect signals, right? But they can also emit a signal. If they aim that signal off the clouds, it allows them to accurately lock onto their target, which keeps their location perfectly hidden. That means... Quinter to Baby Magnum, come in! Run for
Damn.
I repeat, Baby Magnum damaged. Main guns 1 through 3 no longer operating.
Not dead. Not yet. Still got 7 main guns and I only need 1 to keep going.
Propulsion system malfunctioning. High-speed maneuverability may also be compromised.
Accidental detonation? Was the Mach 25 speed too much for the artillery shell to withstand?
You think that was the end of it?
They're not done yet.
What? They want to make sure they finish us off?
Not quite. There's something off about their strategy.
Maintenance crew, inspect the Baby Magnum suspension system.
No! That's their next target! The base zone!
Quinter, wake up. Quinter! Are you all right?
What the hell? What's going on? Where's Havia?
I don't know.
But he was... Wait, what? What about everyone else?
Luckily, most of the personnel managed to flee into the bomb shelter in time. Right now, only minor injuries have been reported.
So then they didn't score a direct hit.
Maybe their technology's flawed. It seems like the shell couldn't withstand the air resistance. It detonated mid-air, just before impact.
All this from an indirect hit.
I'd say there's a very real chance their main gun is just a prototype.
But still, they took out the Bright Hopper with 1 shot from 500 clicks.
It's all about the trajectory. The shorter the distance between the gun and the target, the tighter the parabolic arc. And that would put a strain on the shells.
Then, why would they get closer?
Our presence is cutting off their supply route. The Mass Driver Foundation is trying to draw us into a short war by directly targeting the Princess. With nowhere to retreat to and no way to sustain themselves in a long, drawn-out war, it's their only option.
So these Mach 25 shells, they lose their accuracy if fired at a target from a close range.
Regardless, I'm calling off this mission. I hate to admit defeat, but we don't even have the means to engage them. As of now, we're evacuating. Until then, I have to keep searching.
That won't work! Using the aircraft carrier to escape isn't safe! It'll never make it beyond the range of an object's main guns!
The wounded are being sent out to sea on the hydrofoils, not back to the carrier.
But what do you plan to do about the Charlemagne?
That's not up to me, that's the Marines' call. The officers aboard the flagship will have to make that decision. And besides, it's not like the hydrofoils can outrun the main guns either. It's a no-win situation. But that's still our best chance. Can you stand?
I think...
I don't feel a break. It looks like it's a sprain. Come on, let's go.
What? Wait, I might be able to manage.
Didn't you hear me? My first priority is our wounded. And that includes you.
This is the 52nd Mechanized Maintenance Battalion. Corporal Serona with the forward reconnaissance platoon.
All right, then. I'm pretty sure you should be safe in there with the current placement of the clouds. Let's just keep you hidden till they fire off more chaffs, okay?
Any word from Quenther?
I keep trying to raise him, but I still can't get through. Knowing him, I bet he's perfectly fine.
Hailing 37th Mechanized Maintenance Battalion. Baby Magnum. This is the 52nd Mechanized Maintenance Battalion. Corporal Serona with the forward reconnaissance platoon.
One of Halreed's officers, huh?
I propose that our most likely chance for survival is for our battalions to work together and devise a strategy to ensure that Baby Magnum destroys the Mass Driver Foundation's object.
Have you received authorization from Major Capistrano for this?
Her whereabouts are currently unknown. Being that time is critical, I'm asking to be placed as ranking officer and allowed to devise the mission plan. Concerning strategy, it's advised you follow the Bright Hoppers tactic.
You mean try to take out the enemy's legs, and then lay into them with the main guns once they're on the ground?
Correct. However, we realize that the Baby Magnum is incapable of the same high-speed maneuvers, which does limit the plan.
Then how do we immobilize the enemy object?
There's a giant dam in the Iguazu region.
Destroying it would cause the area downriver to flood, thus bringing a ground combat object to a standstill.
That can't be your plan.
Of course it is.
No way in hell! That plan is not acceptable! Do you realize what'll happen if we destroy that dam? You'll be murdering tens of thousands of civilians!
Collateral damage. Besides, they're not citizens of the LK.
Either way, your plan is worthless if the Baby Magnum doesn't help you. It won't accomplish anything if you bastards destroy the dam!
This mission is moving forward with or without the Baby Magnum. You'll be advised later when we intend to strike. That's all.
Crap! She's got some nerve saying this has anything to do with survival!
It connected. Hevia!
Quenther, have you been under a rock, man, or what? You won't believe this! We just had the most insane plan ever dumped on us by the leftovers of the Bright Hoppers Battalion!
Yes, it was broadcast on an open channel, so we heard it too. Do not participate in their mission. The Baby Magnum will not be mobilized for them. Hopefully they'll just realize that there's no point without our participation.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
Why not?
Because I'm pretty sure the only thing these guys are concerned with is getting payback for the Bright Hopper. I get the feeling all rational thought went up in flames with their object. It sounds to me like they're gonna blow up the dam no matter what happens. Unless someone heads down there to physically stop them.
Hevia, let's talk.
Sure, Quenther, this seems like a great time for a serious conversation. I'll handle the dam situation.
Right, I'll take care of the enemy object.
And I'll leave things over there up to you.
Stand down. I will not allow that. It's too reckless for you to go out on your own.
In that case, all you have to do is simply make a report that you were unable to find me. I'm nothing more than a student on deployment, which means what I choose to do, well, the last thing I want is for my actions to impact your stature in the military.
Listen, Quenther. You can't.
Please, let me do this. I know this isn't my job description, but I've got the experience, and I can't stand the idea of just retreating.
Now look, I'm the superior officer here. The final decision is my responsibility. Now we could say you were still missing. I'd have no choice but to continue searching for you.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
You can't do anything with that leg. You'll only die if you go at them alone. So this is what we'll do. We're in this together, no matter what the consequences are. Just remember, even though I have to act like your crutch, you're still my stubborn, troublemaking subordinate. I'm hoping you have some kind of plan worked out.
I'll need the princess's help for it to work. But the very first thing we need to do is determine which route the enemy object will take to intercept us. The satellites are still down, so it's up to us to determine their location, then report it back to the princess so she can make a preemptive strike. Let's review all of the options. Projections show they're likely to thread the mountains and come down a gorge. That gives them 3 possible routes.
There's no need to stake out all 3. The sound will give away the general direction. The object's drive noise is the one thing they can't conceal. Fingers crossed it still runs. Just sit tight a moment.
It got blasted this far in the explosion? I'm really sorry for all the trouble I'm putting you through.
Yeah, you better be. You owe me a shoulder rub that'll make your hands bleed.
This is the Charlemagne. We're attempting to reach Major Capistrano in regards to the Mass Driver Foundation's main gun. A few details have come to light as a result of our analysis. Please reference the diagrams. We've uncovered that their main gun is a combination of railgun and rocket technology. They use a railgun to fire the oversized artillery shell, and the shell then immediately splits into 3. Furthermore, just before impact, it appears to eject around 10 submunitions in a ring formation.
The princess will be killed if a single one of those submunitions strikes her.
The shell is fired at a high angle, but its trajectory is rather peculiar. After climbing to 2,500 meters almost directly above the target, the missile's arc suddenly goes into a nosedive.
They must be manipulating the trajectory with some kind of tail assembly.
The kinetic energy of the shell's trajectory is concentrated on detachment, but after the missiles split, the rear rocket engine is programmed to ignite, thus allowing it to achieve Mach 25. Our assumption is that it changes trajectory with adjustable grooves. End transmission.
Mass drivers, rockets, submunition technology. There you go. It's like a Frankenstein hybrid weapon, cutting edge as you can get.
Don't forget the chaff missile targeting method. Actually employing the clouds to reflect the locked-on guidance signal? You can't get much more intricate. The creator of this thing is either a genius or entirely freaking nuts.
Oh, are you feeling a tinge of jealousy, Mr. Budding Designer?
Not quite. I'm a little busy not crapping my pants.
We'll need to come up with a provisional code name now that we have confirmation that their object exists. How does Break Carrier sound to you?
Something that speaks destruction? Sounds about right.
What are you doing?
I'm just adding some bookmarks. All the mountains around here are littered with a large amount of tunnels. It's a labyrinth of mining and transportation networks. When everything starts to go down, it'll be helpful if we can call up these maps with one tap. Figured I'd program it while I have the chance.
Try not to go overboard, though. It's not gonna do us much good if the Break Carrier's people pick up your signal. I can't help but feel so nervous. Hey, Quinther, why don't you tell me something about yourself to keep my mind off things?
Are you trying to sound like some corporate manager pressuring me to reveal a hidden talent? 'Cause you do.
You're a student. What do you know about the corporate world? Thanks for boring me.
Actually, I heard a rumor. Is it true that you're a member of the nobility?
The Capistrano family. We have an extremely desirable genetic trait. To be honest, I'm surprised you haven't heard about it. But then again, you're not an aristocrat.
What is it?
We only produce males. It doesn't matter who we marry or how we reproduce. Our children are born male almost 100% of the time. And having male heirs, well, that's what the aristocracy is all about. The right to inherit. You know, all of that. Not a subject a commoner like you is too familiar with, huh?
Yeah, all the stuff about pedigrees and lineages. It's a little too much for me to wrap my head around. I mean, why not just marry the person that you love? I don't get it. But hey, what do I know? I'm not nobility. The idea of marriage is still pretty abstract to me.
Lucky you. I'd be lying if I said I didn't envy you. But here I am, saddled with this genetic disposition.
But that doesn't really make sense. If your family only has boys 100% of the time, what about you? You are all woman, right?
Yeah, I don't understand it myself. I'm a noblewoman, guaranteed to give birth to boys. Trust me, there are plenty of men out there who've had trouble conceiving a male heir. All I am is a natural resource they're clamoring to acquire. Desperate to breed me like I'm some sort of prize horse.
So then, it'd be like a marriage of convenience, that kind of thing?
It'd be legitimate in the family register, but in practical terms, I'm nothing more than a tool for them to maintain succession of their legacy. As long as the female comes from the same social class, that's all that matters. They don't dare dilute their aristocratic bloodline. Who knows, maybe I'm lucky. I guess there are worse things, right? When you have a mountain of requests from men that only want you for something you have no control over, all you can do is try to stay positive. It was bad enough being born with this trait, but the way they talk, that Capistrano girl can produce a boy at the drop of a hat. It doesn't even matter if the man is sterile. They basically bounce back and forth between talking about me like I'm livestock or a miracle cure. The list these days. It ranges from impotent elderly gentlemen to pervy leches from who knows where, each and every one of them bidding like crazy for the privilege of wedding and bedding me. And that's the reason I prefer to take my chances on the battlefield instead of a safe nation. If I retire from the military, all that's waiting for me is the highest bidder and a big bed. And he's probably some middle-aged man I've never even met before. Oh, speaking of, I'm guessing you heard that transmission from the Bright Hopper pilot, Hal Reed Copacabana?
Yeah.
He's about number 3 on the list. He's actually considered one of the kinder candidates, if you can believe it. When I heard the report about the attack on his object, to be honest, I was relieved. But 1 or 2 candidates dropping out? That would hardly put a dent in the line. It's no big deal. I just have to spend my life fighting in the military. At least until I become an old hag and cease to be useful. Basically, living and dying on the battlefield. That's the closest I can come to freely living my life the way that I want.
Well, all of that aside, you know, even out here you sure do smell really nice.
Huh. That's really what you have to say after I pour my heart out to you? Well, honestly, I don't think I could ask for a better reaction. Which way is it?
I can't tell. It's reverberating too much through the mountains. Which of the 3 routes is it on? We're screwed if we misread this. We've only got one chance. Which way? Which direction is it?
Three-legged mountain climbing is life and death.
The artillery battle in the Iguazu Mountains. 3.